All right, what's going on, everybody? Today we're doing the final review for Fully Coolly Alternative. Tonight was the season finale. I'm here with my friend Rex Sparks. We're going to be talking about the season finale. Full spoilers, just like always. The episode title was Full Flat. I thought this was I thought this was a good episode. It wasn't it wasn't a bad finale at all. What do you think about it? Just I guess general thoughts.
I think it was amazing, but I, I'm a little iffy on how it ended, though. I'm a little iffy how it ended. So, well, let's just talk about the entire episode, I guess, because this takes place days later after the last episode, which caught me off guard. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, they did a small little time skip, and uh, maybe there might have been some people thinking, I kind of want to see what happened kind of before then. Like, I think, I think we all kind of wanted to see what was gonna happen next, like after that, instead of just kind of like fast forward a few days. They say that Kanna's been absent for a few days. I guess she's like basically been sulking and trying to recover from using her NO channel, and then also having her best friend, basically, drop the bombshell on her about really her feelings and stuff, and then she gotta leave. She's dealing with that throughout the episode, and she basically comes to grips with the fact that yeah, things are gonna change. Things have to change in life. That's just a fact. And I will say, like, by the end of this episode, like, it feels like everything that they were trying to kind of convey with her character, I felt like everything really came around full circle. And I can honestly say that I was wrong about this character. From like my first review and stuff, I still remember that first review we did for this show. I was like really down on her character. I wasn't putting down the show entirely, but I was just like, I normally don't really like her type of character, but with what they did here, because even by the end of the episode, they showed flashes of her childhood where like she's alone, and she mentioned in like the last, I think it was like last episode or the episode before that, or whatever. But she mentioned how she used to be in the hospital a lot when she was a kid, and that's kind of why she kind of connects with that guy that she likes. That's why she can kind of relate to him. And in this episode, she's like, it's basically revealed that she's been doing all of this stuff her whole life because she just she's so afraid of people not liking her. She wants to be around people. She doesn't want to be alone. And I can honestly say, like, I kind of think that she's the strongest character, like out of the main three protagonists. As much as I like Hidomi, I think that she's a lot stronger than both, you know, um, Nauta and Hidomi. I mean, you might think otherwise, but honestly, she's up there to me now.
Honestly, I can see why you'd say that, and I don't know, man. Like, this kind of struck a chord with me because back then I kind of did stupid things so people could accept me back, like way back when, before I finally like wised up and said, man, screw you, man. You don't like me, screw you. You don't like me before
And
I
and
screw you.
see
I
and
should have
see
to put
that's
on a
what
face.
I like about this show, because for the two episodes, so like the two episodes in the show, the episode with Hajiri, and I pointed out how accurate that kind of is to like popular girls now, and when we were in school and stuff, and then with this character Kana, like these characters, it's very well written characters. Like, they completely nailed it with this one. I honestly think that because they could have gone the lazy route, and if they would have went the lazy route and didn't really dive into these characters, then I think that I would have hated Kana, because again, I didn't really like the eccentric characters. I'm not really into that, to her kind of character type, but they were able to just flesh out these characters and have you understand them throughout these episodes. And one thing we gotta talk about, because I know you probably wanted to talk about this also. Haruko's been 19 for years. She's been 19 for years, which
Yeah.
explains a lot. It explains a lot. It actually
Yeah.
explains
It
a lot. And it fits
it's,
with the theme of the show. It honestly does. Like she's 19, she's been 19 forever, but she's constantly telling kids like Naota and Hidomi and everybody. She's like giving them sort of advice throughout these seasons and stuff. And she's like, "Oh yeah, things are gonna change and stuff." But then at a certain point, because I think it was it was either you or somebody in the comment section that was saying that it was either you or somebody in the comment section of one of our other reviews that pointed out that yeah, Haruko is basically what these protagonists would turn into if they didn't grow up, and that's an accurate assessment. Like if Kana kept being the way that she was, and even Naota and Dumb, they would be like her. Like I feel like she is probably what like she's probably the depiction of what an immature person thinks is to be mature. That is Haruko. But with her being
and
19
she
years old, that kind of raises a lot of questions. So go ahead.
honestly that makes sense. Her entire representation is like honestly like a current age Peter Pan almost. When you
Yep,
really think
yep.
about it.
She's a modern day Peter Pan. That's a great
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
great analogy or whatever, man. That's great. Yeah.
You're right. She would never they would be exactly like her if they never aged. So it's like it's kind of a good thing that they can age. Aliens don't age. This actually explains a lot now and why she still has the same mindset throughout like every single season now.
That does
But
kind of raise questions with like Jinyu. It's like Jinyu was, the mature, rational one. I would really love to see them kind of dive into that whole thing with Jinyu and her being the same person and that stuff. Like I didn't think that I was gonna miss this show so much. I'm gonna really miss it. I'm honestly gonna miss this series. And just with watching this, alternative and progressive, I honestly like these two seasons. I don't. I bring this up in every review. I'm sorry, but it's like the haters, the people that are hating on these two seasons because they're like not like the first one. I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that they didn't go the same route because I was thinking about it earlier as I was watching episode 5 over. I'm like, this feels different, and at the same time, it has elements of Fully Cooley in there that we come to expect. But it's not like the first season where it's like it's wild and frantic, and you can't really process what's going on and stuff. Whereas progressive and this, it had a straight for the most part, it had a great storyline. You can kind of get what's going on. Tonight, it did kind of dive into that whole madness of it all a little bit. Where the guy, at the end, when the plants activated and stuff, and then at the end, he's talking about like, oh, this is the focal point. I was like, okay, am I supposed to know what that is? Like it went completely insane at the end, and I know that you were probably enjoying that. I will say the animation and stuff, by the end, the animation, the colors that they were really playing around with, it's all perfect. Honestly, I can't really say that there was anything negative to really point out about this episode. If there is, y'all can let me know in the comment section, and you can tell me right now because I don't think there was anything really bad about this finale.
wasn't. Except one minor thing, but man, like someone can't believe I'm saying this, but the first thing I could think, only thing I could ever think of when she went all like color on us and like her portal started opening up a rift. And All I could think about was like, does she have the Chaos Emeralds inside of her or
Oh
something?
my god, no.
I'm like, is this what's going on right now? Also, Khan has become the most OP protagonist of the FLCL, of the whole FLCL canon. When you really think about it, neither Nata or Hidomi were able to open up a rift and just do what we did and restart time and pretty much
Honestly,
say,
it makes
okay,
sense. Not to cut you off, but I think it makes sense when you think about it, because she's the oldest out of all of them. Technically, think about it.
no, she is.
She's the oldest out of all of them, so that means that as Naota would grow older, that would mean that he would be as powerful as she is. And same thing with Hidomi. I think their NO powers get stronger, and that's actually kind of an interesting thing. It's like I'm guessing their NO powers get stronger the older they get.
Makes that does make sense. That does make sense. But what about eyebrows in the first series? It's like what happened? His power
Yeah,
just like
but that's the problem with that theory, because we've seen that that's not always the case.
then
Even in this
Naruto's all
series.
like, and Naruto's all like, Taku's more is bigger. I'm like, dude, dick joke on top of everything else. Seriously, but seriously though, the fact that this whole like plot, this whole storyline has been like from season 1 all the way up to where we are now. It's like the first season is basically just about growing up, not growing up too fast. This progressive was basically not having your true feelings locked up about what you think, and alternative is pretty much be true to who you are and having to accept the fact that we all have to grow up. So if they were to ever do a 4th series, especially with those Naruto flashbacks that we saw with the portal shooting Haruko in the desert for whatever reason, I guess that brought up some memories about him for her. I guess, I don't know, but this is just me speculating at this point. If they ever do a 4th series, I would say like bring him back and have him go through the acceptance of being an adult. I don't know. That's the only thing they haven't explored at this point. Is like being in is being an adult. That's the only place they haven't explored
I don't
yet.
know how they're gonna. I don't know how they would do that though, because most of it is all of it is just one big metaphor for puberty. That's all it is. It's one big metaphor for puberty and growing up. So like when you're an adult, I don't know how they could kind of make that work.
Still, even when people like hit that age of adulthood, they're still not technically adults, so they could still probably skip around it.
But then at that point, that goes back to what I was saying earlier with Haruko, because she's basically she's basically exactly what you're talking about. Like she's 19, she stayed 19 forever. That's like I'm 26 now. You're like 25, 24. That's like
I'm 25 now.
That's like that's like if we were to stay acting like we acting now, and we reach like age 40 or whatever. Like they've done that already with Haruko. That's the character that they've kind of done that with.
But I don't know, man. I was just speculating on like
Cool. It's cool.
What they could do for a 4th series. But if they don't, then they just leave it like with the
honestly,
the
with how Japan is feeling about this, and then how a lot of these fans are feeling about.
I'm not going to touch this ever again.
Yeah, they're just like, no, it's too sacred. Never again. It
okay,
was a mistake.
It's like if your production IGs just like got their hands up in the air and just being like, just looking around like, okay, we learned our lesson. We learned our lesson. The only good thing to come out. The only good thing to come out of this is like the Pillows redoing like some of the songs from the first series and like putting in new tracks. That's like the only thing that's been universally accepted here. It's like the Pillows have not screwed up at all. Like they're safe. Everything else, man, we hate progressive. Man, we hate alternative.
Honestly, I wish
God,
that like I was watching so like while I was watching this, I was wishing that this was an hour. This really should have been an hour because I felt like I guess one thing that I can kind of criticize about this episode, and it's just a small thing, it's just the way that it wrapped up. It wrapped up so quickly. It wrapped up like that. Like that's the only thing I can kind of really say negative about the episode. Like I kind of wish it was longer. That's the only thing.
honestly,
It felt like it needed to be
again,
longer.
gotta go back. I gotta go back to that 12 episode thing. Like this could have probably helped both progressive and alternative if like we hadn't got the 6 episode count and they actually got dragged out to like 12 episodes. That probably would have like fleshed out a few more things and actually built up to it actually built up like both seasons worlds a bit, I guess. Especially where it's just, honestly, I think that would have helped. Also, the hour thing, or like the hour thing for both finales.
Honestly,
Because
the series should have been like these episodes. I mean, I know it's kind of unconventional, but they should like each episode should be an hour. It really shouldn't even be 30 minutes. It should just be an hour.
you mean 22 with commercials?
You get what I mean? Like it should be cause like mostly like an hour of television. If you take away commercials, like commercials is like maybe like 15 minutes. So like an hour show is really only like 45, 44 minutes. So it should be about that time. I think if you gave like if these 6 episodes was 44 minutes, I mean some of the episodes were fine with the time limit, but with this with the finale, that's why I feel personally I feel like this finale was a bit rushed compared to the other ones as far as like the conclusion, the climax and everything. But we also I'm surprised you haven't brought this up. Conti, we got to
Honestly,
see our army of Contis.
You mean the wannabe Lord Conti?
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause
wannabes.
There's like, it's like, where did these guys come from?
I mean, it's a cool
It's like,
Easter egg, I guess. I mean, it was not necessary, but it's cool since
honestly,
y'all not gonna give us Nauta, so it's something to kind of please fans of
except
the first season. So
except in like flashbacks at the end, but still, it's like kind of, dude. All I kept wondering, like, besides the Conti wannabes and with the universe being reset, all I could think about was like where was Ginyu in all this? Like, you telling me she doesn't like? Where was she? Seriously,
you know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think, and I could be wrong about this because of the finale of Progressive, but a part of me kind of thinks that these stories are separate. A part of me thinks that, but the reason why that's probably wrong is because of in the finale of Progressive, there was this guy that was I think related to the guy with the eyebrows. So that's the only problem with that theory. But honestly, I would honestly take these, and I think that's the way that a lot of people should take it. They should take these shows these different seasons as just being its own self-contained thing. Don't go in expecting for Nauta because that was a different thing. It's just like I guess the best comparison is like Final Fantasy or like Dragon Quest. Final Fantasy 10 does not have the same storyline as like 13 or 15. Same thing with like the Dragon Quest games. Like they're not connected. And I feel like Fully Cooley is like the same way. You just gotta take it like each one's trying to tell its own story. We don't need to like the only character that is a constant is Haruko.
so that kind of, actually, it's almost just like the Full Metal Alchemist thing, because like the 2003 anime exists because like they didn't finish the manga in time, and the 2003 version has its own like story to it. Brotherhood is the actual story that actually follows the manga to a T. So it's like they are completely separate. That kind of makes me think of that. But still, it's like, You mean there's two like guitar wielding badasses here we could use, but she's nowhere to be seen, especially with her Megas XLR car. Where was she, man? I know I gotta like treat this as it's like its own story, but it's like, I can't. I can't. Now when she drove off at a progressive at the end, it's like, you mean to tell me she knows the world pretty much reset itself and she doesn't do anything? I would have preferred her like stayed in Harco if this was the case. But okay, okay, whatever,
Another thing could
whatever.
be, I guess we can kind of wrap this up because we're kind of we're kind of not really talking specifically about the episode now, but one thing I can say, like one thing, like I guess it could be that maybe this happened before. Well, then again, nah, that wouldn't make any sense. I was about to say maybe this happened, like maybe this happened before Progressive, or I don't know, maybe it happens at a different timeline, but that really wouldn't make any sense. But then again, it's fully Coley, so who knows?
Honestly, I think these were written almost at the exact same time, which would explain like the like, oh, we got Progressive in what, March? It was either March or April or something, and then we get like this like in September. So it's like, I think they were written around the same time, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Above all, but getting back to the episode and 7 Chaos Emerald Kana and resetting the world and everything.
Yeah, she basically went Super Saiyan at the end.
She basically
Just like
went chaos. She basically went chaos control in the world. That's the other thing. So, Pets did her dirty, and you better not come back, because that, looking back at that now, it's like, yeah, she didn't deserve that. You pretty much like put her into like depression over this.
I'm happy she did it. I'm so happy. I'm happy she did it. Just like I was watching the episode earlier. I was saying like that episode. I think that episode and episode 2, along with this one, those 3 are the strongest episodes of this season.
Dude, I'm not gonna say that she doesn't deserve it, but it's like, why did you keep this inside for so long before you before all this? Why'd you not say anything like years ago? Why were you quiet all the way up to this point? That's the other thing that kind of like take me off. But again, she kind of deserved it, but at the same time, kind of didn't. But this episode as a whole, good finale. I would give this a shoot, man. It's probably the last episode. It's either an 8.5 or a 9. I'll go that far.
I'll give it a 9.
Okay, you know what? Screw it. 9. Screw it. I'll give it a 9.
Hey, don't let me influence you.
Fine, 8.5.
I don't care what you give it. I'm just saying, like, don't let me influence you.
I know, fine. It's an in between. It's a toss. Okay.
Either way, it's a good score.
Either way, I can't like. It's a toss between those two. So almost near perfect, completely near perfect episode. It deserves more time, like you said. Yeah,
so that's gonna do it for our review. Let us know what you guys thought about this week's episode. Sad to see this show go. But that's it for now. So let us know what you guys think about this episode. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later, I guess. Peace.